Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sept of the Red Branch, Secret World game, whatever. So after some much deliberating and other deliberations that the pack, they'll need to solve, but that's not what we're here trying to solve at the minute. No. Maeve and Seamus are currently, meeting up with the members of Insurrecta Animalia, the Fox Pack, and one of the few city packs on the Sept of the Red Branch. And they are investigating a series of murders that have been occurring for a while now, each in variation, each with a different purpose, a different goal. But both of them have met the two members of Fox Pack who will be organizing the co-op essentially between the Boar's Tusk and the Insurrecta Animalia. It's currently about 6 o'clock in the evening, roughly around that time. It's kind of late evening. You'll meet Halfdan and Danny in Brooks Rest first before anything happens. Because you got a bit to drive, just because you got to go to the student accommodations out in Galway City where the apartment is. When you arrive, it's pretty. You arrive at one of the low houses. The one of the attached houses that's kind of like part of the neighborhood. Seems like one of the places that Danny has kind of shored up for himself, so he can kind of come in and go off sept as he pleases. So you arrive at about 4:30. You want to get a good brief in before you start really driving there. He will inform Maeve, that they have a body that they need to examine, but they'd rather investigate the last known location of the victim first before they start ripping his guts open, because let's be real, time is ticking. And a lot of people have been resting on this, and they don't know when this killer, or maybe set of killers, is going to strike again. So, you guys arrive in, and, it's just after Danny informs Maeve of the mode of action. We're going to get a body, and you and I will sort that because we're the Theurges, but right now we're kind of team focusing. It's when Halfdan kind of folds his arms and rubs his bit of a beard. With Danny and Seamus's cover, we can pass off as certain, interested individuals without raising too much suspicion. The victim's house is currently lived in, so we're going to have to play it nice, which means I imagine Seamus and I will be the ones doing a lot of the talking, a lot of the charming while searching around. Maeve and Danny are probably, I would say you two check the Umbra, see what you can find, and see what we can't spot. Don't raise an attention, these aren't kin. And if we find something that isn't a normal serial murder, we need to make sure that the veil is protected at all costs. I'm not all for going in and shooting this girl in the back of the head, but we need to cover her up, essentially. That is the most critical element of this. We need to keep one step ahead of the police and eventually get one step ahead of the actual murderer.
Yeah, there's a good steady nod of understanding.
Right, of course. And obviously, it's a delicate one, obviously, with mine and Danny's cover. Not wanting to be blown, our faces will be recognized, so...
Pretty much the way I think we can pull this off very easily is that you and Danny are doing routine checks. Often detectives work long hours, so I don't think the girl will complain. I believe you met her at the morgue anyway.
Yeah, it just gives it all yeah, I did.
So it should be easy enough for us to bypass in. All you need to say is that we're part of the official crime scene, You just kind of give that shrug like bullshit something believable, that kind of wave of the hand.
Yeah, I gets it.
If anything, once that happens, Maeve, you follow me. Danny will be with Seamus. That way we have one Ragabash with one Theurge. And the Ragabash can keep an eye on the Tellurian while the Theurge checks out the Umbra.
Makes sense. And it keeps us all in contact by mixing it up.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. We'll probably start driving over there soon. Is there any other things you guys need to be abreast of?
Where's like a moment's thought? Just are we just going to, kind of glances over to Danny. Are we just going from the car mirrors, or do we know what to expect around there? Whoop.
God, that. Oh no.
It's okay. Don't worry. It'll fix itself. Just give it a second. There we go.
Did he drop out?
See?
Okay.
I closed the wrong tab.
That's the thing that happens now and again. It's all good.
Danny will say, not necessarily. It would look a bit suspicious, considering that if I don't appear with Seamus, she'll ask, where's my... What we're going to do is any handhold mirror in the place, we'll probably do it there. It might be a bit risky, but as worst comes to worst, Maeve, peek and see what you see in individual locations in the house. Choose your different rooms, peek if you have to. If you need to cross, inform me that you're crossing, or tell Halfdan, and I'll know that you're crossing.
Right. Is there anything in particular I should wear? So I'm just kind of not standing out. She just gestures down to normal clothes, nothing weird, but definitely just
No.
normal person wear.
Just don't say anything. Halfdan will do the talking.
Right.
If anything, he follow his lead. He will make sure that if she does raise any questions, well, you two simply will step outside to get your gear. Kind of gives that, just play along, Maeve. You know what I mean?
Just again, it's not the wacky bobble. It's just the one from Nod of okay.
It'll be easier if we give no idea. They're going to be a little bit startled due to the amalgamation of rage, so it's better if Seamus and I go in first, establish a baseline so they don't start questioning why Maeve and Halfdan start moving around, if you get what I'm saying. Create the air of deniability.
Another just okay.
Since you two aren't heavily involved in this, it's better to say it now. This is from Gravelwalk himself. He and Vera are investigating a possible new site. That's why we're rushing. I don't need to tell you the seriousness of that.
No, you don't.
Now, we haven't confirmed anything, and he's making sure he's taking one or two of behind enemy lines with him to make sure he has the extra firepower, just in case. But if the initial reports are correct, we might have found another site. We're not sure. So that'll be, once Maeve and I have done the autopsy, that will be yours and Halfdan's next priority, Seamus.
Yeah, no, of course. If we can get there before anybody else finds it, it'd make things a lot more easier.
Like I said, we won't hear from it for a while. Gravelwalk is not going out there unprepared. He wants to be sure.
Again, he just nods. Yeah, like it's kind of the bit of the grimace as well, because if it is another site, it's like I mean, Seamus saw the murder scene. It ain't pretty.
It's grisly. And they might, if you get this fresh, oh Jesus!
And I mean, knowing what he knows, if this could be the last one, because it's gonna spell something, and he doesn't like what it's gonna spell.
Oof. If I can ask, glancing between them all, if it is confirmed, should I expect that we'll need to try to get a look there too? Or will that be for later?
When we're done in the apartment, if it's confirmed, we'll head there immediately.
Yep. Again, the one good strong nod, all right.
Halfdan nods. We're just waiting for actual confirmation. But we don't want to go ahead and not do anything and not pursue the case. We have a very limited time window. Serial killers of this variety tend to do their business, and then if they can, if they're smart, they'll disappear, or if not, they'll ramp up their production.
All right.
Yeah, I mean they look ready to go. They're very like that's the thing about Insect Down. They may be all jokey and shit, but they are one of the most organized packs on set. When it comes to this shit, they are very organized. They are ready. They're like ready to go.
Yeah, Seamus looks more than ready. He's been waiting for this.
So I'm assuming Maeve, you are ready to go.
Oh yeah, she made sure that when she showed up, she had everything that she needed in her bag and her arms. Whatever have you. So she's
Wonderful.
just waiting for the signal.
Yeah, you all hop in to what looks it basically. Seamus and Danny get in one car, and you and Halfdan get in the other. It's to make it look as organized as it's to make it believable. If you get where I'm coming from.
Look like two teams. Gotcha.
Yeah. And one thing I will ask if I can do, Torna, because Seamus is curious, and it will help to have this anyway, is can I pulse the prey, the chick?
Which girl? The one that you met at the...
Find the name, Cameron's friend, his roommate.
Oh, yes, you can. She's not hiding.
Beautiful. Mainly because if she's out of the apartment, it'd be nice to know. Because we have the keys, and then if we're doing it that way, I know where she is. If she's in the apartment, well, then we know where she is.
Or you get a pulse. She's not hiding.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess she's in the apartment.
Yeah, when you arrive, you drive for a hot minute in Galway City, and you kind of pull up to a street like this, and it's past the hostel area. As these like rows here, just past the hostel. Like it's right alongside. It's what most student apartments do. They kind of put it either near the hospital or close to the off license. Either one, probably both. So you kind of arrive to a street like that, and Seamus, you can feel the pulse as you're driving up. Like you can feel like, oh yeah, no, we're like she's probably in the apartment. That's probably why they're having you and Danny go first, so it looks all legit and shit.
Yeah, of course. And as Seamus will lean over to Danny as they're getting closer, just nodding. Pretty sure that she's definitely in the apartment, by the way. So it's not going to be a break and enter sort of thing.
That's good. That might raise too much attention, and at least it gives us a chance to use our cover believably. He kind of nods, like he's a bit more relieved because that's a lot of complicated things that could go wrong.
Yep.
All right. We'll park up here, and we'll have Halfdan and Maeve wait till we give the all clear that they can come up.
Yeah, so sounds good to me.
So Maeve, you're in the back seat with in the front seat with Halfdan in the other car, and you see Seamus and Danny pull up, and Halfdan will turn as he parks in just a bit across from them. We have to wait. They're gonna make sure that it's all clear. The girl's probably in the apartment.
Okay.
What you could do while they were waiting, take a gander around, just peek, do whatever. We've got plenty of time, and it's nighttime.
All right. I'll assess the area. And she could use the mirrors in the car, but at least with a hand mirror, she can pivot it a little more. So, I mean, she'll just make it look like she's checking her makeup, checking her hair, and we'll pop the mirror open and start assessing.
So give me a perception investigation roll, Maeve. And Seamus, they have the initial security, and he kind of frowns at you, and I imagine you both hold the fucking badge. And he's like, "Oh yeah, of course, you can totally." Oh shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the frown is just like the both of them just pull the badges. The music kicks in as they both put sunglasses on.
Yeah, no, you guys can totally be let in. Like he's not going to be like, "No, you can't come in, cop." So you walk up the stairs. He tells you where the apartment is, and you knock on the door. And, she opens it, and this is pretty much it's a typical, you can even see it from this, it's a typical student apartment. You know what I mean? It is so typical. Like, even Seamus is like, woo. Do you know what I mean? Like, the basic oven, the basic kitchen, it's like a living room, kitchenette type of thing. And she's like, oh, hi. Office, yes, sorry. I didn't expect you so soon.
Seamus just puts the easygoing smile that he has. Sorry that it's a little bit late, Miss Fitzgerald, but I'm wondering if we could ask you a few questions, and if at all. Just have a quick look around your apartment.
Oh, of course. Yeah, she kind of just steps aside, like she's not gonna not. She kind of just comes in, like steps in, does that kind of awkward like hair roll, like oh dear.
Of course, if now is a good enough time.
Oh no, I mean everything's fine. Like I said, just shopping. She points at all the bags on the table. You know what I mean? The fucking Tesco, student shopping essentially. Like I need these to live for a month. You know what I mean?
It's just packs and packs of super noodles.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a typical student meal. It's just a bit brushed off my feet.
Oh no, of course. But he will gesture for Danny, like, please, partner.
Oh yeah, Danny's like, oh, thank you, partner. And strides on in. Would you both like a cup of tea?
You know what? That would be grand, love.
Yeah, she just nods and she reaches over. Yeah, I mean, she just trots over. It starts to go to make it's like get the tea bags, get the kettle on. And Maeve, while this is happening, Maeve, what you do notice is very strange. There's your typical Weaver things you see popping around. A lot of webs. Around this area, though, there's not as distinctive Weaver spirits. That's the strange thing about it. It's like the area around them, the Weaver spirits just seem to be avoiding. It's like, it's not that they're avoiding because it's clean. It's like they're avoiding because the little tiny robots seem to be afraid of around the surrounding area. It's like, too small. I can't handle this. I'm backing away. You know what I mean?
So yeah, she's mostly seeing like the small normal stuff, and they're just kind of like, I can route around this.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you see the typical shit. There is a significant worm taint around this area, though. Like it's more than your usual of what you'd see in the city. It's not like Black Sparrow dancer incoming worm taint.
But it's gross.
It's just it's like a sludge that kind of just lingers around the top part of the apartment complex, and it kind of drips down like blood, kind of coalesces down like a slow droplet of rain.
Yeah. What she will do tactically is just as she's looking around, spotting things, she'll just keep a running, quiet narrative for Halfdan of what she's seeing, what they're doing, what seems like a point of interest, the sludge, where it's centered. Because if she tells him, he can pass it on to the other group.
Mm-hmm. And switching back over, panning the camera over dramatically. The tea is set in front of you, Shames. Whoa.
Well, you know what? That's one of the things. Whereas, while she's making the tea, and first of all, Torna, when she starts, how is she looking? Because obviously she's a little bit rushed off her feet, but generally.
She's looking all right. Like, I mean, you can tell she's probably had a rough couple of days with, the family coming over, getting the body, all that type of shit. You can imagine it has been a rough couple of days. Considering what you guys pulled, you imagine the family are kind of caught up in a lot of paperwork to get the body released.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, hint. You know what I mean? So you can imagine she looks a bit tired. She looks a bit worn out herself. I wouldn't say she's like, oh, I'm amazingly chipper. No, if anything, she just seems like a person who's just trying to get on with it. Do you know what I mean? It's a very like, I'm just functioning, and that's fine, because right now functioning for me is great. You can see a lot of, I'll put it like this, you can see a lot of takeaways. Do you know what I mean? She's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm like, I have not bothered to cook because I'm just so stressed off my fucking backside. You will also see signs of another person living here as well. You can definitely see like, this is my section of the fridge. You know what I mean? I'll give you that for free as well. Like that, because it's pretty much obvious. A student's like, the top shelf is that person. I'm the bottom shelf. You know what I mean?
That was the thing. So while she's making the tea, it'd be kind of like the nod to Halfdan to like, hey, you go look. So you have a quick look, while I'll not Halfdan, sorry, Danny. Double Dans. That's it. Anyway, it's kind of the nod over to Danny to like, hey, you have a quick look around this room while I just keep chatting to this. And he will make his way over and. Oh
yeah, like you can see Dan. You can see Danny already starting to just notice things. It's like, I'm just gonna just walk around, inspect. You can literally see him just leaning towards the window and just gazing out a bit, inspecting something.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where Seamus, seeing Danny like do his thing, will actually because he does care. He does give a shit because man, it's not nice for anybody. But he will. I imagine it's over on the right hand side, so like it's not a massive room. He will like make his way over and.
I'll clue you. Let me just move her picture, and I'll clue you to how tiny this student accommodation is. Like that's what she's at.
Yeah,
you're here, she's here. You know what I mean?
That's what I thought. So well, obviously I can see you rushed off your feet, but do you want me to give you a hand with unpacking a few things or anything like that? No,
no, don't be troubling
Are you
yourself.
sure?
Oh yeah, no, it's fine.
The last thing I want to do is put any more pressure on you now, Mom.
Oh no, you're grand. It's just everything, there's a lot of apparently there's some complication with paperwork, and it's everybody's a bit. But I had the family over the other day, and it was very she kind of just does that hair ruffle like ho ho ho. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's he stays where he is. He doesn't like move or anything like that. But it's kind of like where the table is. In fact, on the right, he's like there. So it's like I'm in the middle of the room. So I'm setting like the point where Danny can have the rest of the room behind me.
Mm-hmm.
But he will then, of course, take his tea. Like basically just staying by her while she's going to start unpacking.
Oh yeah, she just starts taking things out. Like I'm just going to put this here, Maeve, I will quickly shoot to you. You get a message from Halfdan will look over. Danny says he's noticed it's lingering around the area of the house as well to the exact sludge you described along the borders of the windows towards one of the bedrooms.
Is it somewhere that she can see from where they are, or would he have to move the car?
You'd have to move the car.
And she she'll keep tabs with Halfdan and kind of lean around and be like, we'd probably have to move to that side of the building.
Yeah, you just see him, he just puts the car, switches on and just gently rolls the car to the back alleyway.
Yeah, she will take advantage of the new view as soon as it's feasible to do it.
Just give me another perception alertness.
Alertness this time?
Yes, please.
Okie dokie. Same pool. Oh, another good roll. Jeez, I'd kill for a specialty.
Oh.
Another 4 successes.
All right, lovely. You can see exactly where Danny is talking about. It is up on the second floor. Actually, no, sorry, third floor. Because these are usually 4 stories. And it is the middle from the left window. And you see it seems to just coalesce. It's like, I'm just going to form right around this border of that window. And you can see the spires like going patter, 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 turn, patter, patter upwards. You know what I mean? Away from it.
Yep. That is exactly what she is looking for, and she will start calling it out as soon as she sees it. It's that window. There's a trail. It goes this way. It's going up to the roof, looks like. She'll see how much she can from, they're down on
it's
the roof.
high. Yeah, you got to get high.
She's not going to be able to see the roof.
You can see definitely, it's definitely coalesced around the window, and it's kind of pointed just in a vertical line upwards.
I was going to say, is it just like a straight line, like something just came crawling down the wall?
Something came crawling up the wall towards the roof. Something came out the window, went left like yeah.
So yeah, she'll make the point that it looks like it only came one way from here. It looks like it's going up. She doesn't know how it got in, but this is definitely how it came out.
Yeah, Halfdan kind of grimaces like, ugh. Do you know what I mean? Ugh. But camera panning back over to the Seamoose. As she's, opening the fridge, like putting the big, the 2-liter tubs of fucking milk, the big proper like milk bottles, in, and So, what did you need to talk about?
So, I wanted to ask you a few questions, really, and just trying to figure out some background sort of stuff.
Sure, yeah, whatever can help you
with. Seamus will, of course, because he is invested. Will pull out the little notepad and pen.
whips it out.
Flip. Exactly. Flips it open. So, do you live alone at this apartment?
No. One of my friends. I asked her, would she mind ditching her old apartment and moving in, because otherwise it would have been on my own.
He nods like sympathetically, like, yeah, of course. That's the sort of thing.
You met her at the police station. She's the one who gave me the lift.
Oh, of course. Hey, Christine.
Do you want me to get her?
Not she. We can potentially later. Depends.
It's kind of like, do you want me just to clarify? Because, like, it's that kind of nervous, like, oh God, it's that kind of, I hope I just haven't got her in trouble, that type of look. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it's like, look, there's no trouble going on here. It's just, but basically, there's a few blanks and things that we'd just like to fill in, mainly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because okay.
If I need Christina, I'm more than happily like that. But for now, no, just as.
Yeah, because I cleared it with the landlord and stuff, and he said it was all right. So she kind of gives that awkward, like, I'm not in trouble, am I? Type of look, like, oh dear. But no, she moved in about a week ago, and when he went missing, like, probably just like about,
And so, Cameron, did you guys often have a lot of friends around here, or?
I mean, yeah. She kind of gives that awkward, like, rub of her arm, like, we're college students, so like, a couple of our friends live down just the door,
Like, it's just like the knowing smile of it. I know it, but it's like, it's kind of giving the idea of, like, these are the questions I have to ask, but it's like I already know the answer to that because you're college students.
We weren't stupid enough to make this the party house. Kind of gives that kind of awkward nod, like,
just gives the point of the pen, like, that's a smart idea.
I mean, yeah, no, we had a lot of valuable stuff here. So after Vanessa got her laptop taken, I kind of got a bit paranoid about her stuff.
Had?
Yeah, her laptop went missing. She was just next door. Just vanished.
There's a small, not a frown, but it was like the I'm just out of curiosity. What do you mean by vanished?
I mean, just she left her apartment and she came back and it was gone. She figured that she was broken in. She reported it and all that to the, your man, the owner of the fellow. I mean, he's a bit of a tool. Shrugs. You know what I mean? Like, nah. Like, he's a landlord. You know what I mean? Nah. Does all the work with the fucking seafaring folks, so he thinks he's the bee's knees. Does all that volunteering. They get in the little boat and drive around the bay. So he thinks he's like David Hasselhoff or something.
So it was just, I was like, oh yeah, no, I know plenty about those type of folks.
Civics is just like, no.
no, yeah.
So he said he'd look into it, but there's only so much he can do, particularly if it's a student accommodation. You got to learn to lock your doors.
It's one of those. And now, did you guys have anything just disappear or any valuables like that?
I mean, I kind of give out to Cameron because he said he lost something belonged to his. It was like a necklace or something. He said it was his dad's, and I kind of just disappeared. And I told him to lock the doors, so I stopped making this the household party house after that. And that was about like 4 months ago.
All right, then this necklace of his, what kind of thing did it look like?
I was like one of these old, stuff you see in the jewelry shops. It was the really old, like, Celtic tree thing. He was big into that sort of stuff, and his dad gave it to him because he got into college doing the history studies and all that. So it's kind of a big thing, and I mean, looking back on it, he was so blasé about it. I mean, I just thought he was being, no offense. She gives a smile.
Yeah, he nods.
I just thought he was being a typical lad. You know what I'm saying? Pretended not to give a shit, but he was really, but he was so calm about the whole thing.
Just writing things down in the notepad as he's nodding along, and just this part of it, like the Garou brain is going like it's a Celtic knot fucking necklace that just disappeared, did it? Oh, I'm sure it
Fucking
did.
Chambers just they pushes the fucking Metal Gear Solid alarm sound in his head. Just, Britain. Do you know what I mean?
And was that the only thing that he like said that he had gone missing?
She takes a sip of her tea. Yeah, I mean, he never told me anything otherwise. And I always locked the door, like I double locked it. After that.
And nothing of yours?
Not that I know of. I would have had a fucking meltdown if it did. She gives a kind of awkward sip of her tea, like,
Not so long, just writing stuff down. And so, going back to one of my earlier questions, so obviously, college students, you have a lot of friends around, and not too many though, because it's not the party house.
No, it's not. It hasn't been the partner mouse now for a while.
So, if I was to ask, which friends you frequent?
I mean, Christina, Tiernan, mostly people from my course. Christina's not from my course though. She's doing sports science, but she's not doing it in NUI. She's doing it in the one of the DIT, like the IT colleges. So like she does like 9 classes because she did shit in her leaving cert. She gives a awkward back of the head rub.
And can I just get a last name for Christina?
Christina McCarthy.
Of course it is.
They should give out the spell. It's different to the McCarthy in Red Branch. It's MA. It is different.
But there's a second. There's a second
Yeah,
where
he's
it's
like looks up
scratch.
Like what?
Unless you
Yeah,
spell that, it's like oh
dear, oh dear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No, it is a different spelling. It actually CMOOS. It's the English abbreviation of the McCarthy spelling.
Oh god, what's that?
Yeah, I mean, there's McCarthy, but McCarthy spelled properly. They spell it Mock, whereas hers is Mick McCarthy, so it's MC. Whereas the official McCarthy spelling is Mock. It's basically Irish families can have like same names and distinctive shit, but the English it's basically one of the bastardizations of the name essentially. So like the way the McCarthy name is spelled. This is how Christine spells her name. So it's McCarthy, not McCarthy. And this is the way the McCarthy, you see the way the McCarthy spell it. Do you know what I mean? They're more closer to the actual like Gaelic form, which is McCarthy. The Fianna, you know what I mean? Whereas you can see how hard, do you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So it's the same name, but she could be from a completely different, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's just that I imagine Seamus just kind of looks up like, oh.
He said McCarthy is just like, what? She spells it out for a minute.
Oh, thank Jesus.
Whew.
It's praise. Suddenly. Yeah, she's I've known her for like a year, like when I did first year, and then I met her then I think at one of the parties, like just at the end of first year. So we've been kind of, I'm from Mayo and she's from Clare, so we get on well. Mostly. That's why you can get on with somebody from Clare.
He doesn't say anything, but his half smile says it all. Just a heh. Oh, I see you.
But she's nice, she's been really supportive. So, but Tiernan, that's Tiernan Gannon. He's from my course, but he's only comes around when just he just kind of gives that spread. Like he only comes around when we're hanging out, that type of thing. There's Francine. I only see her like twice a week because she's too busy studying at the minute because she didn't hand in her projects on time. So she comes at me screaming that she needs help.
Yeah, he makes a note, and anybody else that Cameron had round at all?
I mean, him and Christina got on pretty well. He kind of got on with everybody. He did mention that he, was pretty friendly with people, but he never brought them around. He mentioned a girl named Sarah.
A girl named Sarah?
He didn't give me a second name. He just mentioned her that he was, she was a friend from one of the societies, the clubs.
All right.
He used to do all the rock climbing and stuff. He said he met her there and she was nice.
Do you know at all, bit of description about her?
I never met her.
Oh, it's all right.
He just told me about her, that they were friends, and I said you should invite her over, and he was like, she's not the kind of girl for parties.
Yeah, he just puts that down as well. Did he often meet with it, or like outside of the clubs as such? Or did he ever say he was meeting her?
I mean, he'd go to study groups, or he'd go to different things, but I kind of went with him too, and I never really saw anything. Only kind of in the last 2 months he really mentioned that Sarah and him had gotten a lot better, she's gotten a lot more sociable.
All right, and these study groups where are they commonly had?
Up in the library, not the college one, the public one, because you didn't have anybody watching you, so you could actually go get a coffee and not feel guilty.
Again, he just nods, writing that down.
But like he'd often leave early, and he'd be like, but he'd always come back with like groceries and stuff. So I just assumed when he was going, he always was going for something,
Yeah, just nods and again writing stuff down.
Again, like Seamus, you can roll P&E if you want.
I'd like to.
Go for it.
I don't believe she's lying, but again, her emotional state's always a good thing. Perception, empathy. It's 2 successes.
She's definitely not lying. She's definitely, she's kind of anxious. She's kind of like, it's that like where it's that type of thing. When you're questioning, you're doing all the things. It's the unfortunate thing of like, she's like, oh, is this important? Could this be important? You know what I mean? She's kind of, that over stressing, if you get me, because it's like, maybe if I spotted the tiniest little thing, or maybe I missed something, or do you know what I mean? It's kind of like I am my own enemy is my worst enemy at the minute.
Yeah, and is it at all that she's not holding on to information? She just doesn't really know.
It's more like
she doesn't want to just vomit everything at me, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like if anything, she's like, "Oh, I told you this. Is this something bad? Did I miss something?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the idea that she's panicking that if she tells you a thing, maybe it's you figure out something and she will not. It's anxiousness.
Yeah. He looks up, sees that she's getting nervous, and just, well, there's no need to be so nervous about it. Like I said, it's just fill in a few blanks. Just wanted to. We have a lot of things on him, but understanding his daily lifestyle and people he met with and often hung around with might open up a few things, if you understand.
All right, with your 2 successes, you do see she's kind of nervous to say something. She kind of wrings out her hands a bit.
After he says it, I mean, she probably sees that his eyes look to her hands. Look, just a quick glance down.
I don't know if you've got his medical record yet, but Cameron used to have some problems when he was younger.
All right. Well, is there something that we should be looking out for on that medical record?
He told me when he was 16, he had to go into a unit for a couple of months. He had a really bad episode.
All right. What kind of episode?
He didn't really tell me much. He just said that he hears things, and he had he told me it was a nervous breakdown.
Nuts. Writing down again.
I know, and he takes some pills. I just assumed you guys knew already.
I cannot disclose, ma'am, what kind of information we do or do not know. If you think it is important, that is why I am here today.
Well, I saw him pop a pill every now and again. He always told me it was just to keep him stable.
And how often would he do it?
Oh, he had it I think he would take it once a day with food. It's prescribed, he said.
Oh no, of course. But if you've seen something that is clearly abusing that sort of thing, it's
no.
But
it's just do you know when you come home and the police don't tell you to touch anything, and they look through it and all, and they didn't know where the drawer was where he kept his pills, and I opened the drawer and there was none there, and I opened up another drawer and I kind of pulled it out by accident. You know what I'm saying? And I found the boxes.
That's when, he's been writing down and he just kind of stops.
He hadn't been taking them. That was at least 2 months worth of the dosage.
Have you still got a hold of this drawer?
Yeah, I just left it where it is.
Do you mind showing me?
Yeah, sure.
And he'll just kind of take the step to the side, yes, now the barrier has been broken. Step to the side, opens the room up.
Kind of gives this awkward little, timid, oh God, but she'll lead you down the hallway. You can hear music playing from one of the rooms. They can tell that's somebody in there. You know what I mean? It's the room to the right, and you head towards the room to the left. Let me just get this for you. I just need to zoom out. So this is what typically most dorms in the college residence areas will look like typically.
Yeah.
But I just want you to imagine it's more lived in. You know what I mean? The bed is the bed is neatly made. You can see some posters the typical early 20s young male has been lived in here. You definitely see posters of fucking Slipknot because this was huge around then. You'll see hurling GA posters, the GA, which is the Irish football essentially. You'll see various pictures him with his friends, this and that, his graduation from secondary school, basically the Irish version of prom. And it's your typical household thing. There's a lot of posters of Michael Collins from the IRA from the 20s, a lot of old style, icons. He obviously was big into his history.
Hmm.
And she points to the left side of the drawer, it's like a little drawer. There's there's 3 sets of drawers on the right, 3 sets of drawers on the left.
little chair there. You know, you can do your work in. And she points to the bottom left-hand drawer.
Yeah, and he will just now because Seamus knows some sort of I can't remember procedure. That's the word I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Is that he stands by the door, like she pointed out to him. He gestures for her to all right, now you just step outside the door because I'm not crouching down with my back turned to you while I'm like.
Oh, she does. She kind of just nervously kind of wrings her hands at the entrance to the door.
Yeah, but then he will bend down, have a look, but he will look under. So is it on the bed drawer or is it on the desk drawer?
It is the desk drawer.
And is it the one next to the bed, right?
Yes.
I mean, even still, he'll have a peek underneath the bed.
Oh, it's clothes is what you mainly find.
Yeah, just a quick look because sometimes things fall. But then he will, of course, just open up the drawer.
Oh, you open up it's your regular drawer, but I'm assuming you pull it out all the way.
He'll open up at first and have a look around what's in it.
Typical
just bits and pieces and all that.
Stationery,
crap.
That stuff for measuring out stuff. Those old stationery kits where the metal casing, you open it up, it's got the fucking various rulers and shit.
Yeah, totally. He finds all the student crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just like, all right, then just lifts up the drawer a little bit so it comes off the rails and pulls it out.
You will see boxes of basically. Let me just make sure I have the right drug. So what you are going to see, it is called. I will put it here. I can never say it right. Apoprizol. I can never say it. I couldn't even say it when I was a nurse.
Looks like a type of Macarena.
Yeah. What?
Or
aripiprazole?
It's commonly, or you'll see what old ones that look like this, but you mainly see boxes that have this on it, which is risperidone.
See that's a lot easier to say.
Yeah, that's risperidone.
Risperidone, yeah.
But it's important in terms of the context. That is definitely, you can tell these are you can find the empty boxes of these, of the first one, and they look old. You know what I mean? Whereas these ones look a bit more fresh.
Yeah. I mean, he'll look in there, but before moving any, Torna will take a photo.
All right. Yeah,
because,
give me a.
I found these, so I need to.
Give me a perception investigation as well, because you pull out the drawer and you might spot something as well, other than the empty boxes.
Well, I fucking hope so, because this will be nice. So it's perception, investigation.
Yes.
That's still 2.
Beautiful. That's a high diff as well, so you get it. Carved on the when you pulled the drawer all the way out,
mm-hmm.
and you kind of you're holding it, and then you kind of tilt your head over and you'll see it's carved right in the back of the drawer, right in the back end. You just spot it out of the corner of your eye.
And he'll no, because I am an official detective. Well, yes, I found these drugs. I need to take a picture of these because that is evidence. Haha. And then his attention is all right, now I've seen this motherfucker. What is this? And now he will eyeball it. I'm going to guess it's something he's never seen before.
Nope. Just all you know, Shame, is it gives you the heebie-jeebies.
That much I did know without asking. Yeah, he looks at it, and it's that kind of like that awkward feeling, like where just the roll of the shoulders a little bit, and he will just not shout, but if you could please, just inform my partner to come on in here.
Oh, sure. She kind of nervously goes down the hallway.
Because it's late afternoon. He's not just going to go yelping through somebody's house.
Yeah, eventually Danny comes in. And before Danny comes in, we will camera swap to Maeve. Maveless, what are you doing?
There is only so much she can do from down in the car, so she's just probably keeping an eye periodically, glancing in, giving a quick scan around just to see if anything of interest slithers in or out, or
Give me another. You might spot certain warmish spirits that have been lingering around this area, because this will be a particular note.
She figures she's either going to eventually see a Bane or she's going to see some rusty spiders. Either one would make a lot of
you've
sense.
definitely spotted the rusty spiders. That's why the other spiders are freaking the fuck out, man.
Yeah, only one.
One is enough to spot a corrupted pain spirit.
Yeah, it's when she finally sees the rust spiders. Yeah, she definitely lets Halfdan know, because the Glasswalker's gonna lose his goddamn mind knowing there are rust spiders. But it's important that he knows they're there, because they could start fucking with his Dougie. When she finally sees the pain spirit, it's just she panning around like she has been doing the whole time. Every couple minutes, just take a look, and she finally just kind of goes, oh, there it is.
What?
There's a pain spirit, a pain bane.
Okay, guy looks over.
And where is it positioned? Is it like creeping around the window? Is it at street level? Where is it?
Yeah, creeping around that third floor window, just jiving around that, jiving up that little saliva trail as well, like having a good old time.
Okay, so is it on the outside of the building or is it on the inside?
Outside the building, jiving up and down that trail.
It's on the trail I told you about. It's using it.
Is that common?
Maybe if it set the trail to begin with, it could just be a sign of its passing, or it could be attracted to whatever left it.
Nodding.
Oh, does it seem comfortable, familiar? Is it like messing around with the window? Is it
lapping it up hungry, like, yes. Do you know what I mean?
It's
like a fucking, those little things going up the fish tank. Those things you see. Yeah,
so it's like one of those cleaner things that just eats algae. Like, it's, I don't think it made the trail. It's trying to eat it.
If anything, it's you like Maeve, you can hear it, but you can almost imagine, like, yes, yeah, do you know what I mean?
It's attracted to the trail itself. It's literally licking it off the building.
Just Halfdan just makes that face like, ooh.
Yeah, it says, well, I mean, it definitely says he's not the one that made the trail, but whatever did, something a pain bane would be really attracted to. Rubbing its face on it like that, just,
Yeah, and it's not exactly a small little pain bane either, man. It's quite a big amoeba.
So it's not like a gaffling, it's at least a jagling.
Yeah.
It's got some oomph behind it.
Got some little oomph in the pushing,
Yeah, that's not a gaffling either. That's at least jagling sized. That's got some weight to it.
So I imagine these things don't come for no reason.
No, banes especially are, well, yes, pain banes are generally drawn to incredible suffering, and in this case, whatever made the trail either caused suffering, almost inevitably caused the suffering. Unless it is something so mal-made that it is suffering itself. But I imagine it caused intense suffering on the site.
He nods.
So it's attracted to the remnants of whatever it did. They don't just lick up worm taint, usually.
Yeah. Be something to keep a note of when we go in.
Mm-hmm. It means that at least something happened here. I don't know if... Well, I know this isn't where he died, but he suffered here.
It's a nod. I'll relay that to Danny.
Yeah, there's
So, camera pan. Danny kind of walks in the room and thanks the young lady, and he'll kneel down beside Seamus, examining the shit. He kind of puts the gloves on. Seamus little reaches over, hands you a pair.
He clicks them onto his hands. What? Danny, what's wrong with you?
Glasswalker, Seamus. They are my hands. No, he just hands you a pair of those gloves, and he just picks one of the packets with risperidone on it. This is an antipsychotic.
Seamus nods like, yes, of course it is. I'm a professional.
The way he's holding it, though, it's that he's holding it as if it's some sort of insect, and he's caught it, and he's like, I do not like what I'm holding. Do you know what I mean?
Look, Seamus doesn't know, but just assuming, because there is somebody who's not a kin here, who's very present right now. It's just looking at the way he's holding it, and the fact of it is, like, I can imagine, like, the look on Seamus's face, just like, I get it. This is not nice, and it's probably tainted. So, you know what? This is your diggy right now, dude.
Yeah, he just keeps looking over. He just keeps looking over. By the looks of things, he's been off his dose for at least 2.5 months, judging by the supply.
And well, what do you make of the other one, the older? Because I mean, 2.5 months makes sense for these, but this, Seamus will have a look with the gloves, but see if we can find a date on like the
Apriazole. That's it. Apriazole.
I can't say it, dude.
Apriazole is what it is. Seamus, you give me an investigation check. Did you take up one of the little worn-looking boxes with that on it?
Because, like I said, like that is not the right thing. Because, like, yeah, the risperidone looks pretty. He's missing his dose. You said these things look old, so these like that's. I mean, there's 1 10 and a 6, so
the 10 gets it. Sea moose. That symbol is there on the inside of one, scribbled in pen.
And is that on the inside of the bowl?
They're like little cardboard, like little.
Yeah, so it's more of a packet. Yeah. All right, okay.
Yeah, it's more like a packet. It is scribbled in pen there, like multiple times, like 3 times on the right quarter, 3 times on the left side, 3 times on the top, 3 times on the bottom.
Yeah, Seamus will reach in, pull one out, just kind of examine it and see, and just show it to Danny, just like pointing at it.
He frowns, like squinting, like you can see just the You just hear her. Do you need me to give you guys some,
Seamus looks to Danny like it's like, did we set up a code word for like bring Maven Halfdan in, or?
Daniel glance over. My partner here will run you through the procedure. We're going to have to call one of our he would say it, but my paraphrasing is pathology teams in just to take a recon look at the place. He'll sit down and walk you through it. Just gives that polite smile, Yeah,
Seamus stands up like, yep, all right, that's my cue.
Yeah, she just gives that weak little like, oh go Jesus, you know what I mean?
Takes off the gloves because I don't need these anymore. Yeah. He will, be respectful and like show her through back into the living room and sit her down and start, running through it with her like all right. So, I want to thank you for being honest with us and letting us know about this sort of thing. Obviously, it was best on the first run around, and words will be had with that sort of thing. but we found it now. So now we need to go through the procedure again, which, much like like you said before, if they search the place, it's not going to be a massive search. It's going to be mainly localized within his bedroom.
Okay.
As long as you fully understand what that means, and
Should I let the others know just in case like they don't get in the way?
it's probably for the best. You make them aware of our presence here, but if they're wanting to stay in their rooms, or if they want to be out here in the living room with yourself, that's fine.
Sure. Yeah, she just stands up. She's looking at you like, I'm assuming you're following me. It's that type of walk.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming, and like you'll hear, like, she comes to the music door and she just dunk, 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 knocks on it, and you'll hear Christine's voice like, "Oh yeah, come in." Do you know what I mean? You'll see her just lounging. You know what I mean? It's like the music is blaring. There is things lying everywhere, and she just rolls over and just kind of stands up like, "Oh shit!" Do you know what I mean? Oh, you are not just my friend. You are. Oh, hello. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Jesus.
It's like, oh, hello.
Yeah. It's just hello again.
Sorry to intrude.
What? I mean, you're not intruding. She kind of gives that awkward like, I'm just in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, man. Fuck. Hi. Hey. Oh dear. Kind of ruffles her goldeny hair.
Because it is Sheila's roommate. He will allow time for her to explain first before he's going to step in.
Oh yeah, she's like, Christina, this fella's just going to, they're going to do like a routine check of Cameron's place. He's just making sure that we're aware, and we're probably going to have to just wait till they're done. Doesn't want anyone to get in the way. And Christine sits on the bed and nods. She's like, oh, okay. Just nodding. Do we have to sign something? She'll ask.
Do they?
Yes, but Seamus, you can bullshit. It is time to bullshit, Seamus. You can be like, oh no, we can take care of that. You know what I mean?
So it's my time has come.
Charisma law in this.
So yeah. Do you want me to roll it first?
Do it.
I was just gonna do the spiel first.
Do it. Actually, give me the spiel first, and I'll determine your difficulty.
Yeah, so she says that. I imagine it's kind of a look towards Seamus. It's like, do we have to sign something?
Yeah,
Seamus,
you know what I mean?
Seamus already tugging on his imaginary suspenders, as he plans. So the way it works is, because the team's already been in and they've already searched the place and they found, as what happened last week, it's going to work off the back of that effectively, and it's more paperwork for our side, understandably, when we get back to the office, as we have found what could be potential evidence. So it's for you, as long as you have verbal confirmation that you understand what's going on here and you consent to this sort of thing, it's nothing more than that.
Charisma law, difficulty 6.
Fucking 3 dice. Motherfucker. Can I spend the willpower?
Actually, this is more manipulation. Let's just roll This is definitely more of a manipulation pool than charisma.
Can I spend willpower?
You can spend willpower, yes.
Spending a willpower. Because this is going to be a massive fucking hurdle if it doesn't work.
Hey!
Oh, brilliant.
That's 4 successes. So she nods, like she's like, "Oh, okay. It's more paperwork for you." It's that type of look, like seems legit. You know what I mean? Ha! Do you know what I mean? It's that general expression. It's like, oh, well, if it's costing you money, you know what I mean? It's that type of stand.
Yep.
I'll be out in a sec. I'm just gonna put on some more respectable clothing. Don't want you to see me bare biddies.
No, of course. It's completely understandable, ma'am. But I will say it's entirely dependent on yourselves. You can either wait in the points behind him, like to this room, which is there's not many rooms in here. It's the front room, or if you want to wait inside here, as long as you leave the door open.
I'll wait, man. Just look over. I mean, you see the look over at poor her friends. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'll wait with her if you don't mind, you know.
Oh no, of course I'm saying for the both of you, because if in case you don't want to be in the thick of us walking through the apartment and all, more respect for you guys.
She nods. You'll see. She just, we can wait in here, you know, if we're not in your way.
She just looks like, if that's your decision, it's like, look, I'm giving you an option which you're more comfortable with.
Yeah, she just goes and sits on the bed beside her friend. You know, it's like, I'm just gonna sit here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Christina looks pretty chill about the whole thing. She's like, oh yeah, no, it's costing you money. I don't have to move. Do you know what I mean?
Seamus makes a mental note of, this one might be a problem in the future.
This one knows the law.
This one knows things that I possibly don't.
Shit. Do you know what I mean? Shit.
It's like that always like, I see you. You're a bullshitter as well.
I see you're a man of culture.
Hello there.
But yeah, no, he just relaxes. She relaxes, you know, and just lounges there, and you know, she sits all timidly. She's anxious as all fog.
Yeah, that, like, again, Seamus will, you know, of course, thank them, and he will leave the door open as he makes his way back over, and I mean, he'll make the call because, of course, the call of, I'm going to put my phone to my ears, but I have a pack link, so it's it's much simpler.
Hello, Maeve. I'm talking to you in both directions. I can imagine Seamus just verbally saying, "Yeah, I need you to come in." While going to Maeve, I need you to come in. Yeah. So Halfdan gets out of the car with Maeve. They'll take a hot minute while the buck goes and gets something to eat.
Well, I imagine it's not we've had this team set outside because we knew we were going to find.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This team have to be on their way, so you know, just give it 10 minutes.
Exactly.
It's not like we knew we were going to find something. We saw you guys. You set us up. Yeah.
We had this team all along.
we
came prepared.
You're under arrest.
Oh my god. But since
I knew you freaky blonde. You're coming with me.
Oh my god. But no, by the time Maeve and Halfdan arrive, totally part of the squad. Fucking, you're gonna find Seamus and Danny in a room look like this, you know. So you all can converge in the room. Halfdan closes the door. Yeah, once you're all kind of in, Danny will turn. This is worm tainted. Heavily worm tainted.
Did the trail continue on the inside?
No.
Yeah, she will check out whatever is worm tainted.
It's the pills. Now, it's not something that's deeply worm tainted. It's more of a residual, but the residual is considerable.
Do you think it was from him handling it, or the people he got it from?
Maybe the people he got it from, or maybe some, I don't know. It's locked away, you know? Why would he lock it away? Do you know what I mean? He kind of gives that look like, why the fuck would he? Do you know what I mean? Generally, how the worm works is you take the thing that's worm tainted and you turn into a Fomori. You know, he kind of gives that baffled, like, scratch to the back of his head. Do you know what I mean? And this symbol here, I don't know what that is.
And well, I know that Seamus was taking a photo of it. Maeve does, like, I'll pull her little notebook and quickly scribble it in there for herself. just so that she has a copy to look at as she inevitably has to research later. Is there any kind of roll I can make to maybe understand any part of the symbolism in that?
Intelligence occult.
Okay. Yes, I can
Okay.
do.
Can you?
I can try
Will
really hard.
be- It will be a difficulty 8 because it is old
Oh.
world knowledge.
All right. Ooh, go pool. Oh, son of a bitch.
No, you try to feed your memory back. No,
No.
you can. I'll give you this for just what you would be able to see. It is an old symbol. You just don't know what. It could mean fucking anything.
No, she will probably comment to that effect. Essentially, I can probably dig something up, but it's old enough that it's not anything I've looked over.
And with what Seamus found, it's both on the inside of the drawer and on the inside of these old boxes.
Looking at it, you said he didn't take them. Maybe that was the point. There's the eye. Maybe they wanted him to see something that he wouldn't have if he'd been taking them.
Nodding. Like, again, he's listening. It's like, it's not a bad idea. You know what I mean?
So it could be that the whole point was to drive him to not so that he'd see it. And if they're this tainted, and this is what you said, a couple of months of it in here?
2 months, at least.
Right.
It does tend to fade a bit over time. It probably left something on him too.
That just because I didn't hit it exactly, Torna. Sarah, when did she start to appear?
2 months.
Ha,
I mean,
There you
like,
go.
she became more sociable, is what she
Yeah.
said too.
But I mean, Seamus will go open his notebook, flick through it. I got a few things off Shayla as well. A few things have disappeared from a few of the places around here, like literally disappeared.
What kind of stuff?
One, huh?
Danny's just like, what kind of stuff?
So, one thing being a laptop from next door, which to me, it's kind of like shrug, like, meh. Could be something on it, could not. Hard to say. But what gets more interesting is Cameron had a necklace that disappeared from it's an old type of jewelry, similar to what I imagine would be the bracelet that he had.
Yeah.
Just disappeared. Given to him by his dad, from what she says, and he didn't seem too fazed by it at all.
Yeah, Halfdan kind of narrows his eyes, just looking around. Obviously, he was big into the old world symbols.
And now, it could be a coincidence, but it's worth saying anyway. There's another girl. Her name is Sarah. No last name, no description. Shayla never met her. He was hanging around with this Sarah from clubs, out of school activity sort of thing. And
Nodding.
about the 2 month mark is when when this Sarah started to get the more sociable,
What
and
kind
more
of club?
outgoing. Previously described as very, introvert.
What kind of club was it? Do you know?
What was it? Rock climbing and all sorts.
Rock
There was
climbing,
all
yeah.
manner of
It's a big thing around here. Rock
Yeah.
climbing.
rock climbing.
Yeah, just kind of like, oh, that is not the answer I expected. Kind of frown.
Dan, to be fair, Danny kind of shrugged. You often do see that around here. Halfdan nods. Yep. That or windsurfing.
Right? Like I said, not the activity that surprises me. It's just a name that his roommate, potentially best friend, doesn't even know.
Is it okay if I touch things in the room. So I glaze around. She doesn't want to like reach out and do anything until she's sure the others are cool with it.
The Halfdan reaches in his pocket and hands you some gloves.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, she will pull them on and unless anyone protests, just kind of starts the nosy poke around looking to see if there's any sort of climbing gear, things that maybe she would have given him.
You don't find any of that here, which is definitely odd, Maeve. That
Yeah.
You don't find anything.
It's one of those things where I imagine eventually one of the three of them is going to ask, and she's like, there's no climbing here, not even the shoes, not the harnesses, the ropes, nothing. There's not even a carabiner to hold his keys.
Danny,
She says this as she's fishing.
Danny, out of curiosity, these climbing groups and such, where often do they happen?
On the coast, sometimes up in the countryside.
No, it's just nodding like, all right, so...
They mainly go out to the local villages and trek up along the place, you know. Halfdan kind of leans over the local villages. Kind of looking at Seamus like local villages, right?
Huh. Fucking Christ.
He'll lean over. Generally, what they do is most college kids around here, they send it to the rock climbing societies, the Irish, like the Gaeltacht, which is like the Irish language societies, you know, to revival of the language. They travel around to all these. One of the girls was found in a Gaeltacht village.
Oh man, it's just like the Seamus. Like, I mean, they'll all see he's ticking.
Maybe it's continuing to just flip through the books now, if there are any.
No.
Give me an investigation check, mate, while you're doing this.
Mm-hmm. She's still listening. She's just flitting around in the background.
Now, I'm not saying for certain, but I'd certainly like to find out. This climbing group, could that be common?
Could be.
Between all the victims?
I would look for maybe the climbing group or the Gaeltacht courses. You know, the Gaeltacht societies.
Yeah. It's a chance that this could be. Again, he's kind of like, you know, pointing at his own notepad where he's written the name Sarah. It's just like, this I don't like, because this is something that's giving me nothing. This, I don't like her.
No, it's certainly suspicious.
Extremely. Too many coincidences. The timeline is just...
Jesus, Maeve.
I wished I had a specialty. Ugh!
Yeah, you can justify buying up investigation. You've been fucking... That's 3 in a row.
I will as soon as I have the XP. That's pretty good.
That's 4. That's like 3 times in a row you've gotten 4 XP.
If nothing else, for what little it counts for details, I know he was apparently like buying or borrowing books. So especially ones that aren't library books, she's like taking a second, pulling them out, especially if they're
about to say.
Sorry.
You find several old looking books. You know, they've been worn down. No, when you flick through them, there's no like stamp. Like normally with secondhand bookshelves, they'll have a stamp like this was passed over in like Reader's Paradise secondhand bookshop. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You find a lot of books like that, but a couple of these definitely weren't. They look like they were hand given. And one thing in particular you will notice. Let me just get the right symbol here now for you.
Yes.
maybe it's in old Gaelic, old as fuck Gaelic.
Old enough she's going to struggle translating.
Old enough that Seamus is going to struggle translating. But I'll put it like that.
Oof.
Old, real old world Gaelic, which is even more confusing than the actual like modern Gaelic because it's a lot more backwards and it's a real old. There's not a lot of English for some of the words.
Oh boy.
One of the distinctive drawings because you got 4 fucking successes.
Yay.
Let me just. This is the first one you find. It's the closest thing I can do to reenact what it actually looks like.
So is it like hand drawn inside the cover, like on the title page, or is it somewhere just like flipping through? She happens across it amongst the pages.
Yes, that's what. Yes, flipping through. The next one. I'm not finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I am not finished, young lady.
Sorry. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Now, the next following images I'm going to show you. So you find that one first, and it looks like she's wandering. It looks like a ritual. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What you'll see then is this. I know the picture is not great, but that's basically what you're seeing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then you will see this.
Huh.
You see a man with that carved into his shoulder. And then find the final image is you'll see a woman splayed out in a tree. Like it's like her arms are intertwined in the tree, if you get what I'm saying. It's like she's become one with it. Like it's a beautiful drawn image, but this is on her back. Let me just zoom it out a bit there for you so it's a bit more clear. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. There you go.
So are these all in the same book, or are these in a couple of them?
They they appear regularly in the couple of the books. They are consistent. It always starts off with the woman doing the ritual. Then it starts off with her painting that, that weird kind of tree thing around her. Then it turns into the woman splaying herself down, with the man with the mark on his shoulder being hung in several different positions. And then it ends with the woman splayed out in a tree. And there's there's a step after that.
Okay.
Yes. Let me just find it now, because this thing is not letting me. It is not behaving. So what you see is the final thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something coming out of the forest? Fangs descended, looking pretty much like. Let me just get rid of the background image. Help you see it clear.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And the 2 women who are wearing the antler crowns kneel before it.
Okay. Maeve was all flipping through like, okay, maybe someone like wrote to my whatever on the front. Maybe there's some papers in there, and these are actually drawn in the books. And she's like, He draws in his books. Leonardo holds it up a little bit.
I'm going to stop you right there. They are part of the book itself.
Okay.
They're not drawn by him. They're in the book.
Oh.
It's like a tome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just holds it up like, guys.
Yeah, I imagine Seamus, Danny, and Halfdan look over.
Yeah.
She it's one of those things where it's like, is there a desk there or something she can? So yeah, she like takes the first one, flips to that first image, and just kind of puts it open on the desk. Then the next book that she found them in, flips to the second and lays it open. And essentially, I mean, if there are 5 different books that have it, she will literally open one to each image and say, they're all in every book.
Hey, Seamus.
Hmm?
You recognize them symbols?
Oh no.
What that's carved on the bodies?
The triangle with the clearly fucking dry spiral in it.
Yep. You start to peek, you're like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean?
Like, so I recognize the symbols. What exactly do I recognize from those symbols?
You definitely recognize this one. Like,
Yes.
definitely recognize that. You don't recognize the claw one? Let me just get
Yeah, they're like the bear claw sort of thing with the knots in it.
You don't recognize that. You're like, what the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just get this. You recognize this woman, but again, what you recognize is the symbols of the antler horns that were on one of the bodies. It was like carved in and with knotted wise. You know what I mean? Like they were coming out of her fucking shoulder blade. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You recognize this one as well.
Totally. So, what do I recognize them as?
What exactly you read out when you figured out the symbols? The name of most. You know what I mean?
That exactly, right?
Yeah, more or less. It's the same exact spelling. It's just, again, Seamus, this is so fucking old Irish that you're like, this is pretty much like the best you can say in English. You know what I mean?
So the one with the triangle, though.
Mhm.
So I don't get mixed up. What exactly how do I recognize it? Like, where's that one coming from?
On Cameron.
That was the one on Cameron, right?
That was one on Cameron.
That's the only thing I know about it, correct?
Yep, and he
obviously
his body was, and the way they found his body, it was like it was splayed that way. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's like he became a living symbol.
Yeah, I mean that's been the horrific, gory theme with most of these, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, and even for me, like I'll give this to Maeve for example, like you can see when Seamus, obviously you show him to Seamus, and it's kind of like when somebody recognizes something, but they only just realize now that they've seen it before. I mean, even still with the picture of the women, like the way he fucking dressed himself for that raid. I mean, he's almost like that, with the horns on his head and stuff. It's different, of course it is, but
Seamus is older.
Exactly, that's the thing.
That's what makes you unnerved.
That's the thing. It's like you could see like there's a common ancestor of probably where that came from, and it's the kind of look on Seamus's face that he doesn't fully understand it, which it's worrying because he points at the triangle. I mean, that's the one that was on Cameron. That's how it was like.
Yeah, Halfdan frowns down at it. Yeah, I recognize it. What does this one mean, though? He points at the bear, the fucking claw. You know what I mean?
That I could guess, but I've never properly seen anything like that before.
Hey, glance over at Maeve.
Can I make a roll?
You will again. It will be difficulty 8. You will need 2 successes in total because you failed last time.
Ooh.
Recognize the claw.
Sure. Let's see what I can get. Oh, I'd kill for a specialty, but I got one.
You got one, which means I'll give you this. You don't understand fully what the symbol means, like fully. But I'll put it like this, man. It's a part of a name. In the old Gaelic form, they would announce themselves. Like I explained to Seamus, they announce themselves through title. So it's a halfway finishing of a name.
So yeah, she starts to answer almost like, the whole, like, just kind of
So
trying to draw.
I will tell you exactly what it means.
Mhm.
It is the Slayer of the Dedanan. And then you would figure out that's the name. You know what I mean? Slayer of the Dedanan white. Then you don't understand.
It's like it's meant to be a name, but it's more like a deed name, I guess. It's
a mark of pride. Like you announce your title before you say your name.
yeah. It's a title. It's Slayer of the Dedanan.
The Dedanan. Like have that frowns. Maeve and Seamus. Intelligence academics.
Oh Jesus, I ain't smart.
I'm pretty sure that's the Fae.
It's more than just the Fae, Maeve. Young lady.
But ain't though. I'm smart today.
You said academics?
Yes.
Not help me. Homeschooling didn't help me, but that's 2.
2. Yes, Maeve, you are correct. That has ties to the Fae. It also has ties to the Fianna. To a Dedanan. Big ties to the Fae and big ties to the Fianna.
Yeah, she'll gesture to it. The Dedanan, and like normal folk history, it ties to the Fae, but for us, it ties to us too.
Like,
Fianna.
I'll put it like this. The Morrigan is considered one of the 2 Dedanan.
Yeah, she'll go on, kind of glancing between them if it looks like they're not getting it.
I'll put it like this. The Get Offenders kind of gets it. The Glasswalker just stares at you.
Like the Morrigan, she's 2 other Dedanan.
Right. So you're saying that this is possibly Wormish?
It would be the slayer of spirits and people that all tie back to the foundings of the Fianna.
He kind of rubs his head like, oh.
And anything that titled itself proudly as a slayer of those things would almost inevitably be Wormish.
But then why stop the pills?
What were the pills for?
Risperidone is a treatment for schizophrenia or psychosis.
If it's Wormish, maybe someone like that would... spirits can't really directly mess with people unless they manifest. Maybe it's another way for them to affect someone. If he stops taking the pills, maybe he can see more of it or hear more of it and be influenced by it.
But wouldn't making him a Fomori make him that much more controllable?
Maybe they didn't. If it was a Fomori, they couldn't do what they needed to do with them.
You're half done. Or maybe it's because they are old. These symbols are old, you said, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they don't believe in such things.
Oh, back in the day, weren't they almost like their own species? You didn't turn people into them, they just were. This way.
You're thinking too much like an Ura. Halfdan just says it very firmly to me, like it's a stern Fenrir firmness.
Yeah, she goes quiet.
Too much like a weaver. No offense, Danny. Danny's just like, hey, you know what I mean? We didn't always rely on the cityscapes. Remember? If these are old as you say, maybe they don't rely on that either.
I mean, it makes sense.
Madness was the tool of the gods back then. Kind of looks over at like the Fianna, like staring, like you should get this right. You know what I mean? It's that type of stare.
And yeah, that's Seamus nods along because Tom doesn't have a fucking clue what he's supposed to know. At this point, this is going beyond my fucking knowledge now. So yeah.
No, she nods along.
I'll invite Seamus to roll in intelligence academics if he's unsure.
Tom, look.
Roll intelligence academics.
I'm rolling intelligence academics. I haven't got a clue.
I'll give you the juice.
There's 2 10s. Tell me everything.
Seamus, how much you take hallucinogens to be mad, to hype yourselves up? You've seen it in many Fianna rituals. You've seen it in many different older style rituals. Back then, to be touched by the gods or Gaia, and particularly in the mortal world, was considered a blessing. Why would you allow somebody to restrict that? If anything, it may be worm tainted, but it's not worthy to be truly touched.
So yeah, he Halfdan looks over to Seamus, and it's just kind of like the nodding, like, oh, yep. If they are old old as they are, to be touched by people like that, by gods, this kind of stuff, they see it as, no offense, hoorah, get in the way of things. Somebody that's blessed. It just points at the symbol that's on one of the boxes, like, this is clearly saying a no of some sorts.
Yeah, Danny nods, looking over at Maeve. It could be a warning sigil, maybe.
How do you mean?
Like you put like a toxic over like a hazardous sign, maybe.
So marking it as something that they would see as only a bad thing.
Nodding, maybe. I mean, you're the Fianna, Maeve. Kind of looking over like you know about this more than me. Do you ward off things like that?
Yeah, she finally. That's what finally takes it. Something about the wording there. She nods. If it was something to ward him away from taking it because they felt like it was unnaturally blocking something he was meant to have, something that was a gift, something that let him see and hear, then yeah, it makes sense. And it would explain why they would make an effect for the express purpose of just stopping him from taking it.
All right. Now we have some idea. Take the book.
Oh, she do.
Don't bring it on Sept. Take a look at it or stash it wherever and try and discern it as best as you can. We have a possible connection with various things. Glance over like Halfdan. Like Halfdan seems to be the one kind of just taking the lead on this because fuck it. I'm the more experienced Foster, so fuck it. What we'll do is Seamus, Danny, follow up on the leads of anything that can connect those villages and these women, particularly around those Gaeltacht societies and rock climbing. Find what you can. Talk to them if you need to, just don't break your cover.
Yeah, Seamus nods. He's not going to get away with people taking the lead. Fuck it.
Maeve, they said, points at the book like, Theurgit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she just bobs her head.
All right. I got confirmation of gravel walk.
It's another scene.
Nodding.
There's a grimace on Seamus's face because God fucking damn it.
Fresh. female. Been dead
Jesus.
about a couple of hours, maybe less. He's not sure. He's not good at that sort of thing. She's a bit of a drive away.
All right. Well. So we got everything we need from here at the minute, right?
Nodding. Like, yep.
Right. Are we taking these with us? Like points down at the drugs.
Daniel's just like, I'll just take. Opens up his little bag. Like, I'm just gonna put these in here.
Yeah, it's like, all right, come on, class, we're moving now. Pat, 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 pat. Come on. So take the stuff, put the drawer back.
Yep. Any of the books with those in them, or just go in the bag?
Yeah, and Seamus will head out first because you know what, the girls are still around, so I've gotta do my thing.
Yeah, the women are still sitting there. Maeve, Halfdan, and Danny kind of trundle out. Boop, boop, boop. You know what I mean?
Yep, and I will knock on the door, of course.
Oh yeah, you get told to come in.
No, it's already open, so it's just kind of like the one step in.
Hello there.
Hello there. That picture doesn't help either.
Hello there. We're just nodding like,
Guess what? You've made the list. But I will so step in. So the team have got everything they need. As you can imagine, we've taken the drugs left behind as evidence. They're going to go into the locker and be processed thoroughly and looked over by teams, that sort of thing, trying to discern what's going on here. Hopefully it should give us some more leads, but I want to thank you both for your time and answering the questions, and we may be in contact again if anything else turns up.
Yep. I mean, gives a nod. Christina, however, just nods like, oh, that's good, that's thanks very much, officer.
And if you do have anything else that you think might be helpful, you will, of course, pull out a pen, pull out the notebook, write down his phone number.
Right.
Rip it off, and he won't give it to them, but he'll just place it on like the table next to him, because this is a woman's room, and like, look, I am standing in the doorway because I see you.
I'm a policeman.
I am a professional.
I'm a professional. Hello there. It's me. It's me, the professional.
Wearing a toy police hat and everything. Got from a fancy dress shop.
Oh my god damn it.
But he rips it off, puts it on the side. Think of anything else? Feel free to give us a call.
Absolutely. This kind of gives us nervous little like, okay, oh dear. Do you know what I mean?
But we are quite done here for now. So, well, again, thank you, but we'll be out of your way.
Noddle.
And there's a slight glance at Christina, because look, she's clearly the more calm of the two.
Oh yeah, she's chill. She's chill as fuck, Seamus. Chill as fuck.
Chill as fuck. Can I perception empathy her at all? Just because I'm curious. But there's chill as fuck, and then there's suspicious, and then there's probably on drugs.
Then there's cocaine.
8 and 6.
She's not high. I can give you that for free. However, she is watching you like as if, do you know what I mean? It's not suspicion. It's just this kind of glance, like, okay, you're doing this, and you gave a number. Oh, you know what I mean? She's not. It's very much she's praising you and studying, and of course she's supportive of her friend. Like that, very much is clear. But you definitely see the way she's looking at you. She's like, I see you. Giving your personal number, eh, buddy? Do you know what I mean? But again, very polite, very cordial, you know. Butter over
yeah.
melt, as they say.
Of course, but I'm clear. What it's the kind of feel of is it? It's not. You said it's not suspicion. So what is it? Because that sounds very suspicion to me.
Intrigue. She's curious. You know, you come in, give your personal number. You know, you're back here again, and you know it again. It's more like you're not. It's weird, Seamus. She's not. It's not threatening. If anything, it's like, you know, you ever see the way Layla looks at people sometimes, or that little curious stare she gets? It's very reminiscent of that. It's this appraising. It's like she's assessing you. It's like you're being assessed, like X-rayed.
Hmm.
And the best description I have, it's very much the way, like, say, Layla, or you even see Nessa doing it. It's this very appraising, like, I'm analyzing you from the head down, up, and do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So again, he just placed it down there. It's like it's there if you need it. But,
She gives you a smile. Her eyes are like, again, she's an attractive lady. It's the eyes, man. Whew. Do you know what I mean? You just get a bit caught off guard every now and again by her, by just the flat plainness of her stare at you.
yeah, but he of course gives that winning smile because I mean, yeah, all right, she's looking, but he knows. I mean, come on, he is a bit cocky. He knows he's good at this.
You are the weapon.
Exactly. I am the weapon. And I won't say what he's thinking, but either way, yeah, he'll that'd be like because it's rude just to leave out somebody's house. It's like just pick out the few steps so there's no. I'm gonna lock up behind when I leave.
Oh yeah, she kind of timidly kind of stands up. Oh, the Hapsa. She gives that, like, I mean, that this poor girl looks like she's about to have a nervous breakdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's definitely the more flustered and like, oh God, am I going to jail? You know what I mean? That's the look on her face. You know what I mean?
It's the difference between somebody who's dealt with the police before and somebody who hasn't.
Yes, exactly. Bang on.
Yeah, so he will, of course, be led out to make sure that she locks the door afterwards as well.
Oh yeah, she thanks you. She's not rude. It's just when she realizes you're leaving and she's fine and she's not going to go, but you can still see her legs like tap, like, you know, that drumming, that nervous little restless up and down, up and down, up and down that you do when you're standing.
Totally.
You know, and you hear the door. You know, it's like quick lock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's definitely not in a rush anyway. He's going to, of course, just walk normally down the stairs like he's got to go back to the station to do all this fucking paperwork. Yes, that's what I'm doing, paperwork. And this blonde girl totally hasn't made the list.
So you guys start driving, and where you guys are going, you're going to the village of Fur Og, which is Seamus and Maeve. It's a Gaeltacht village. It's close to Spittle, where one of the girls was found, and Barna.
What a fucking coincidence.
You know, when you're driving and you do see, you can almost hear the bagpipes immediately playing in the distance. You know what I mean? Every single time, Seamus. These are more grim bagpipes. I don't know how you can be grim playing bagpipes, but they're grim bagpipes.
You know, just grim anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just grim. You can hear just the grim sound. Let me just get the big Ukrainian herself. And of course, you will see Vera.
Oh, Vera.
The big Ukrainian. Do you know what I mean? She's a big lady. But, you know, you see the two of them kind of like traipsing out of essentially what looks to be like a field. Just grimly like, oh, Jesus. You know, that kind of like, oh, do you know what I mean? It's everywhere, you know? Yeah, Gravel walks up right up to you and Maeve. Maeve, how are you feeling about this whole thing?
Maeve suspects that this is going to be distinctly unpleasant, but Maeve does not have the prior personal first-hand experience to appreciate just how bad it'll be. So she's not that bad. It's just the like, okay, time to brace myself for something I'm not gonna like. Cool.
It's something to note though of the location of this place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hello there, guys. See, you got the word.
Seamus stepping out, of course. We came. Well, as soon as we could. Not drawing too much suspicion or anything.
Good. Yeah, it's definitely a lady. Young as well.
Jesus Christ.
I put her around fella's age, 18, 19. Her nods. Definitely not 18.
Right. Well, let's get a look then, shall we?
Just brace yourselves, lads. He kind of gives that like hold of the hand, like brace yourself.
Okay, the fact that Gravelwalk is telling Seamus to brace himself, this guy.
Oh yeah, I mean,
No.
Gravellock doesn't look disturbed. He's just like, just listen.
No,
son,
no.
just,
But this
you know.
this is Uncle Gravelwalk here, you know. Oh, when he says brace yourself, I mean it's
Yeah,
So-
Maeve initially was like, okay, yeah, let's go get a look. And he says, brace yourself. And she just takes a second to be like, oh.
So you start trekking through, and I mean, you're walking a fair bit. You know what I mean? Go through a lot of bogland. And what you find at the bed of the tree, impale like her, like I said, like that picture, Maeve. It's like her hands have been melded into it. The crown of antlers has been, and this is what gets you guys. The antlers have been sewn into her skull like a crown of thorns, except it's like they've become part of the skin.
So, like, brutally attached.
Yep. And let me just. On her back, that has been, like, you know, she's knelt down in offering, but on her back, it's like the portions of the back have been wrenched and ripped open, and the bits of bone have been bended to form. Where are you now? I cannot find you. Where did you go? Starting at the base of her lower back, around the buttocks area, and the two end fingers come around her ribs, and the three come right up to the back. You can even see the base of her, the start of the spinal column out of her neck. It's been ripped out to that point.
yeah, definitely, you know, making his way up. Look, getting a good look at it. There's it's more than the grimace at this point, because the grimace was just remembering what his brain allows him to remember. Now it's seeing it again, in probably the freshest one he's ever seen at all, and it's just
Yeah, Seamus, gee, the smell. That's what assaults you and Maeve, the smell.
it's one of those where he doesn't turn away, but it's like that he has to just kind of cover his mouth and like rub the bottom of his chin, because that's just uncomfortable. It's just not nice.
How are you doing, Maeve?
Getting about close enough even just to get hit by the smell, probably to see that there's incredible damage. Before she even gets close enough to see the details of the symbol, it's still like... It's one of those things where, you know, he said brace herself, and she thought she had, but she needs to take a second, and so she doesn't, like, straight balk and, like, run off, but she takes a minute and just turns around, and, you know, it's that, okay, I need every ounce of Zen that I've ever had in my life right about now. And yeah, just she's seen like the rat destroyed body. She's seen some other things, but still, that's new. That's not preserved. That's not found well after the fact. After certain things have been cleared away or just weathered away. It's just, phew. So she takes a second, just closes the eyes, just like, okay, just. It's one of those things where you don't even want to breathe in through your mouth because, if the smell's that thick,
You just hear Halfdan River and Road. Yeah, Danny just covered his mouth like, oh god. Oh, that's so bad. Vera, is walking up along with Gravel walking with you and Seamus. As you can see, fresh.
yeah. The little nod's like, yep. Yeah, it's. Yeah.
You might want to take a look at her thigh.
Okay. Yep. Turns herself back around. Gotta be a big kid. Please don't puke. Please don't puke. Yep. Starts coming around. Maybe if she comes at it from the side and isn't looking straight at the mangled back, it'll be better. It's not better.
What about you, Shamu?
Yeah, no, I mean he knows what he's expecting to see, so it's that case. All right, let's just have a fucking look quick.
Oh, Seamus, that bite's even more savage than the last time. Like right down, like even some of the bone is chipped. It went that deep, like they bit in that hard.
Oh god, we can see the bone. It's like a flap of skin, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh.
Like the amount of blood, she died here. The amount of blood everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that where he bends down and just seeing the matted blood in all the what I imagine like slightly damp ground doesn't help even with the smell.
Oh no, the flies are starting to coagulate. Some of the this is what eerie. This is what eerie, because I'll give it to you guys. It's quiet. No birds. No flies. Yes. No birds. No. She hasn't been picked by game. Do you know what I mean? Silence.
But yeah, he looks around. The silence probably sending a chill down his own spine. But he gets a good look at the bite and seeing that it's a lot deeper, further, harder than any of the others, and seeing the bone where it's been chipped and wrenched away, and just the amount of tissue and sinew wrapped between the two. It's the slight shake of his head, like Jesus fucking Christ.
Right here, Gravok. Hi. It's savage.
Yeah, Maeve finally eases in a bit closer. I was really grateful she didn't take the gloves off. Kind of gingerly, very carefully, kind of like, I imagine the hair is just matted by the blood from whatever was done to attach them, so she start kind of carefully nudging the hair so she could see how
like
they're...
Maeve, you're gonna hate my description, but bits of skin are even embedded in the hair, mixed with bits of the branches. Do you know? How? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because she holds her breath when she does it, like that'll help with the nausea. So she like catches her breath in and like leans down and carefully nudges a little bit of the hair, tries not to disturb it over much, but gets a look at what's happened to the scalp and has to pull back and just let the breath out, like rolls off to the side a bit, like, oh god. Is that wire?
Gravok shakes his head. No. That's thorn. Bramble.
Oh god, yep. She reels back around to look because brambles, like the branches of like a bramble bush, shouldn't be strong enough to bite that deep. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna regret this, but I assume it was like cut first, or was it just sawed in and a rough edge?
Stitched
Oof.
by hand. It's like someone sewed the skin into the bramble thorn and then just bent it in. Like a seam.
Yep. No, that's fine. Yep. Gonna roll off of that one again. Just
You can see Halfdan's going to snoop around some of the area. Danny's following. Fear and Gravelwalk are just arms folded, watching. Just like they look grim. You know what I mean? It's like this is grisly.
Because like Seamus, having like literally looked at everything that there is to look in this case, well, from what he knows, there's nothing. Like, she's begging at the tree, right?
Yeah, her hand. Like I'll say this as well. Her hands, like the nails, have been like worn in as if she's been digging. I'll put it like this, Maeve. They might have done stuff to her while she was still alive, and she dug in her hands into the tree.
Yeah.
yep. She is literally looking at everything possible before she looks at the open back. She knows that if she's gonna lose her lunch, she's sure it's gonna be there. But the hands being torn from still moving around with the nails in them, that's a close contender.
One thing Seamus is going to look for, because all the others have been laying out, splaying something or like saying something, because he knows what they were trying to spell out, and clearly the marking is part of it. But this one is the first one that's different, and it's different because there's now a tree involved. So he's going to start looking around the tree.
Perception investigation.
Because this is the anomaly right now.
What about you, Maeve?
Oh, that's a nice ball.
With others hitting the area and Seamus going for the tree. Oh, good. Yeah, she'll look at the back finally, and she will glance around just to see, because the assumption has to be when she saw that, that those pale lines from the bone, that they probably got them all through the open back, but she is going to glance one more time before she comes around the back, just in case they tried to harvest bone from anywhere else on her body.
Her ribs.
Which they probably got through the back. Awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
She finally, takes a second to see how much her torso might have collapsed as a result, or if it's really distorting her in any way, or if they were careful enough to leave her.
If you move her, she'll fall apart.
Oh boy. Yeah, she'll finally come
I'll
around.
give you that for free. You may not have medicine, but you reckon they positioned her like that, so if she does move, she'll come apart.
You do have a little bit, but yeah, it's just. Yeah, she finally comes around to the back and again sucks in the breath and just tries to hold it together long enough to get a good look.
Okay. Well, I'll start with Seamus before the back. So, Seamus, this is what you find. You don't find the symbols. You're like, what is the link? And then you notice the blood, right? And you've taken a look around on the ground. The blood is spelling out this maw, his claw, out in the ground around the tree, almost like the claw hand is about to scrape right through the tree. You know what I mean? As if it's about to take the tree and just lift it. You know what I mean? It's that type of symbolism. You know what I mean?
So the claw is written in blood around the tree, right?
It's like she's in the center. See the symbol there? It's like she's in the center point, right? And her body is splayed out. When you actually look at it, it's like she's that center point pushing forward. And it feels like the claw's talons are the blood spatter that came all around her. You know what I mean? And it's like she's become the claw itself, bedding itself into the tree. As if they're trying to strike it down. as if this tree is some aversion.
He was all around, and finally it clicks, and he points like I mean, people if that you are walking there can see him because I mean clearly they're watching. He's like looking like he's putting 2 and 2 together, and he's coming up with 6 until eventually he finds the 4, and it's just like, oh shit, there it is.
Yeah, Gravel looks over. What'd you find?
Beckons Mirror, like to stand where he is, because clearly stand where I see, so you can see from how I see it. He beckons Mirror. Come on, look at it from here.
He squints. What do you think it means?
Well, I don't know the translation, but what May have said earlier for what that claw thing means. To me, it sounds like it's finishing off the sentence. Possibly. It means something. It's the claw into the tree.
The most common tree in our culture is the tree of life. Glancing over.
It's just the slow look of what do you think that they're going for? What it's going for? Well, whatever it is.
Didn't you say one of Halfdan said that one of the fellas was missing a necklace?
Hey, that's when I was questioning the girl back there. A necklace went missing. Old necklace with I mean, she didn't know exactly, but it sounds to me like matching the rest of it kind of jewelry. Probably matched the bracelet that he had.
Yeah. Tom, she said a tree on that necklace.
Yeah, she says it with a tree.
Yeah, Gravwalk looks over. Tree of life necklace.
Quite possibly.
So why do they want to strike the tree of life? If it is that theory.
Well, what does the tree of life do? What does it stand for? It's life, obviously, but what else?
It is the symbol of, well, you could say tradition, but it's life. It is the connection between heaven and the underworld.
And
it's often relating to immortality and fertility at the same time.
And he nods on as he's pacing a little bit because he's starting to think piece by piece. And everything else that that we found has spelled out the name of something that is like, what was it? Black, evil, and most violent. This is the final piece of that. Finding out what this means is, if it is the final piece, whatever it is after the tree of life.
It's an oak tree. It looks up at it, just staring. Oak trees are generally our version of the tree of life, because it's the oldest wood, you see. It's meant to be a blessing, a door, as they call it. They're meant to be doors to the other world.
Do you think they're trying to open it?
Maybe. See, you'd offer a blessing to the tree of life because the tree of life held your ancestors Or at least a part of their memory. Some say it will lead to the other world, which is the realm of the Fae, but it also led to the underworld.
And if you're offering a blessing to the underworld,
You cut down the tree, because then you render your enemies powerless to stop the forces of death.
this doesn't look like they want to kill something.
No. Guy rubs his beard like,
If anything, I'd maybe making a bit of a jump. It's like whatever's doing this is wanting to bring something back.
or wake something up. Many old things are around here, lad. Many old things.
Yeah, it's just that look of fuck. Oh, fuck.
He kind of just rubs his beard. I mean, Gravwalk is the same. He looks grave. You know what I mean? Like, ooh. Do you know what I mean? So, well, with that revelation, Maeve, the back. Oh my. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she don't like it, but she really, someone really does need to get in there and get a look at it. So she is holding her breath as long as she can, and finally, kind of doesn't want to kneel.
The artistic savagery of the whole thing, Maeve, is awe-inspiring. It is. You've seen some brutality among the spirals. You've seen it. You know what I mean? This is beyond that. This is not spiral. This is not Black Spiral Dancers, Maeve.
No. No. Because I imagine I can see after the kind of like horrific damage they've done through that open part of the back. Can I even see, like, are her organs still there? Are they even remotely where they're supposed to be?
They've been shredded. In
Awesome.
the process of ripping her back and turning it into that. The kill wound, though, Maeve. That's right, there's a kill wound. Was that bite to the leg? She was alive when they did this. That's the daunting thing you realize.
The real question is, how the fuck did she survive something that even involved, like, cutting up her organs?
You can see the heart is there, but it's just at a different part. But it looked like it was working.
Great. And it's the same symbol arranged in the bones on the back?
Yep. The back has been arranged that way. You know what I mean? You can even see the point, that final claw, the middle one that comes all the way up. You can even see the point of this, where the top part of the spine at the back of your neck is. So you can even see the back, start to see the point of the skull.
Yeah, she's got like the sleeve pulled over her gloved hand and has that like held up to her face and is still like pressing it hard in, like she's gonna hold in the nausea that way. Just, oh, thank God she doesn't have the soft-hearted flaw. Jesus Christ, that's all I can say.
Oh yeah, for Seamus too. You've seen what some spirals are capable of. This is savagery, man. A whole nother world of savagery. That's what makes it probably so sickening. There's a purpose behind it. Like Maeve too. There's purpose. They did this with drive, fanatical drive. Do you know what I mean?
So, I don't want the answer, but is there anything inside the cavity of her back that should not be in there, or at least didn't start in there.
Brambles, bits of wood, leaves.
Are they using the brambles to hold things in place?
Yes.
Awesome. I hate it.
It's like the brambles were attached to her heart to keep it pumping. Which is because the brambles have this weird, sickening, dark red color to them.
Yeah, there was some hinky shit going on, and Maeve is not about it.
It's like they literally used the very forces of nature to keep her alive.
Yeah, she's... I mean, eventually, there's not even a Thayard standing around her, but she's just finally sets back, and, you know, she's doing the little crouch on the balls of her feet because she doesn't want to even put her knee on the ground where there's blood spilled, and she's just, you know, kind of like, it's, you know, glances back, kind of helpless like the other two, like, is this even a thing? That
They both like Vera's near you. I've never seen anything like this before.
I've seen things used for healing, but you can't usually do things like this and use nature to heal.
Maeve, they didn't use nature to heal. They used nature to destroy. Keep her alive, yes, but ravage her body.
I mean, it ravaged the body, but the fact that it could stabilize her is... I mean, it's just one of those things where it's hitting a note in her head that just, like, that's wrong.
Yep.
Things that are tainted and do things like this shouldn't be able to stabilize things, and even if it's just stabilizing, it's a form of healing. It kept her alive, and it was obviously for the cruelest of reasons, but it's still hitting that wall in her head that's... You shouldn't be able to do both. That's not okay. Like, essentially a minor crisis of faith. Not like anything serious or big. She's not going to give up on Gaia, but like, it's just one of those things where like, that's, you know, that's not supposed to happen. That's not okay.
No.
She's having like an issue, man. There's some disharmony going on in her head right now, and it's not good.
No.
I mean, pretty much. Like, intellectually, she sees what's happening. Not so intellectually. No. No. The fact that they're rooted in her body, not in the ground, they're just, you know,
She's
rooted
part of,
in her.
she's part of the she's part of the roots now, man.
I don't like that. Just so you know. But yeah, she's having that initial struggle bus of like, oh, you know, she thought that the whole thing with the rats was bad, but at least she had a base idea of what the enemy was, and yeah, that was just across the board fucked up and wrong, but this is using natural forces, and she doesn't like that, and it's kind of fucking with her mojo. God damn it. Yeah, she does not want to draw this. She's gonna get some space, and she is going to probably find somewhere well away from this to go and just, you know, casually lose her lunch. But not right here. This is a crime scene, and this is eventually going to get investigated, and yep, she's going to... Yep. She just needs to go and go puke out her feelings for a second.
Seamus, while him and Gravel Walk have been deep in thought, grimacing about the possibility to what the fuck even's going on here. Seeing Maeve like just that, I mean, he gets the idea that she wants to join, but it's like, you know what? She's taking a break. Seamus will do the smart thing, and that wonderful camera that he's got, he winds it up to get it onto the next part of film.
Yep.
Because that's look, it's not digital, but it works. He'll take a few shots because we will need this for later on.
Seamus is like, I'm disturbed. You know what I mean?
I don't feel good. Snap. Wind. Snap. But looking around and that sort of thing. Is there anything else that we want to do with this?
No. We can arrange it to make sure it's not disturbed and the police won't find it. We'll have another look at it. We'll probably need to cleanse it too.
Is there any point in looking on the other side? Has anyone done that yet?
There are nods. There's nothing.
Nothing at all?
Spirits are avoiding the place. It's not like they're not there. It's like they ran.
I'm going to take a quick look.
Sure.
Yeah, Seamus will, he will peek first.
It's like diff 4. You're out in the countryside. It's like diff 4.
Yeah.
Diff 4 or 5. Around that big band.
Sure.
No, I can mention it's easy enough. Yeah. You can see like deer spirits. They legged it. They ran for their lives. Nope.
So yeah, of course. I mean, like I'm expecting what I see is just just a reflection of this, but with no spirits around.
The poor tree spirit that was there. That's dead, Jim. You know what I mean?
Oh man. But one thing, what he is looking for though, Torna, because he's looking for something specific. So he knows what Maeve saw because Maeve backlink shows. I'm very confident that Maeve would have told him, like, look, I saw this on the window, blah, 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 blah. There's a trail. There was a trail.
There was. It's kind of, where the blood pattern is, you just see this sludge. It's like this afterbirth.
Yeah. Is it similar to what Maeve described?
Yes.
And he will, like, look. I might probably take him a few minutes to find it because it's not so simple in the Umbra.
It's like it came out of the forest and then went back in.
Then he will just ping over to Maeve. Maeve. You know that trail that you said about on the side of the window?
Yeah, I remember.
I got one.
Where?
On the other side. Right next to the tree.
Oh,
Comes out of the forest and goes back in. Do you want to let the others know?
Yeah, I'll go tell him. She's, wipes her face and comes back over with her stomach roiling a lot less, and yeah, probably approaches up on the other two since I think Halfdan and Danny are doing a swoop. Brian.
You have to look over.
Oh, there's something on the other side, a trail, like what was at the apartment.
You just nods. I spotted it out of the forest, but I lost it.
How far did it go?
Went in. He just does the line cut. I couldn't find it again. Danny's like the trees wouldn't refuse to talk about it as well. It's like they're too afraid.
Do you mind if I look across?
Just a shrug, it's a kind of like hoping maybe you could do better than me, but shrug, it's a very like, yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she just wants to make sure they know where she's going and whatnot, so she does, nod and take out the mirror and does the shimmy.
Yep. Most of the spirits stay away from here. There's a dead tree spirit. It's dead, Jim.
important clarification of the dead tree spirit. Is this natural cycling death, or is this like what happened before,
No,
where it's been
natural
consumed?
cycling. It's natural cycling death. It
Yeah.
died just by the sheer ravagery of what went on.
Yeah, she'll come and see what's left of where the tree essentially was. See if she can assess what happened to it. She saw what happened to the girl already.
It's like whatever corruption they did, it just killed it. Just couldn't withstand that level of volume. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she gives a second to the tree and then glances around for Seamus so she can find where he is and where this trail is.
I mean, yeah, he's like
He's like right
there.
beside you. Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
right beside
He's
you.
like right there. He's crouched down, looking at this trail, not touching it because that.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. They said they tried to follow it and it cut off quickly and the spirits wouldn't talk, but we could see if we can find any more of it than they did. Or at least see how it ends.
Seamus just looks where it's going, and I'm guessing I see like the edge of the forest, the tree line.
Mm-hmm.
How freaky does that look, Torna?
The tree spirits are kind of curled in defensively. It's like they push their brambles in, and then the bits of like the brambles itself are defensively leaned in. The trees have brought their leaves down. It's like they've just literally huddled up like an aggressive turtle. You know, just,
And they want none of it.
That
none of it.
that's interesting
That's very interesting.
because it's not it's a spooky forest. The trees are literally hiding something now.
Yes.
That's different.
Are they like huddled in like to hide what happened, or are they like leaning away from it? Like they just
Some are
don't want
leaning,
anything to do with it.
some are leaning away, and some are just huddled in. It's like a mix.
That is interesting.
So yeah, Seamus will follow the trail because fuck it, why not? Best
No,
time
you get
is when you have no contact with the other guys on the other side.
you get over, and like literally, it's like maybe like half done. And Danny said, it's like the trail just vanishes just at the cup of the forest.
All right. I'm going to start snooping at that point.
You do start sniffing around, and leaning around, and eventually a tree spirit just pushes you back. Just you go back there. It's a gentle little. There you go.
A little branch just is kind of like, and you go back over there. And she does.
Mhm.
She just looks so shocked and offended.
It's like you go there. No, I'm not trying to hurt you.
No, it's just the,
You go there.
From what I can see, does this look very reminiscent of when a spirit is summoned?
No. Well, yes and no. It's like just multiple elements of them are obeying.
So to the one that nudges her back, she'll turn and look. Are you afraid of me?
No.
Are you afraid of what I'll see?
No.
Then why?
Because pauses. The forest deems so.
Does it want me to stay outside of the forest entirely?
You are trying to follow this. The forest deems so that nobody should look at it.
Why does the forest deem this?
Because it does. It's not very simple. Because it does, Maeve.
Oh,
Do you know what
no,
I
I
mean?
mean, sometimes spirits give simple answers like that. And she
Yeah.
accepts that. She's not going to be mad at a tree for thinking like a tree.
Yeah, it's like because it does. It's just very like yes. You know what I mean? Very satisfied little branch tip. You know what I mean?
Does the forest know what this is?
The forest knows that what this is old. From a time of old, and the deep trees even remember.
Are there trees here with roots that run deep enough to remember?
Of course. Just gives the look that you can't imagine a tree just going, obviously. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously. How
You're
big
getting
is this
tree
tree?
sassed.
We trees are the oldest things here. Gives that little. Do you know what I mean?
You have the longest memories.
The trees,
Yes?
the oak, have the longest memories.
Is this an oak tree?
No,
Okay.
this is a birch.
Then
The oak tree was one that was dead.
this is true, but that one's obviously not an option.
Dead.
Then, if I am not following this, may I go deeper?
No.
The temptation to ask why, only to know that it's going to be the forest deems.
Yeah, because the forest said so. None may pass.
You know what? Is there an oak tree within line of sight?
Maeve, let me look at your dice pools, because that is a very specific question. You need to have you cannot tell. Your survival's not high enough.
I'll say oak and maple are one of the two easiest, at least leaf-wise, assuming they have their leaves yet.
In a big, dense forest.
No, totally fair.
If you had survival 3, I would let you roll, but you do not. Something we can think about for the future.
Again, don't worry, it's on the list. Definitely because I've been rolling the poop out of it. I just need to hoard all of the XP. Are there other places like this where he has come and gone?
He?
It has come and gone.
Yes.
In this same forest?
Different trees, but still the whispers of the roots remain.
Where are those places?
Around. All around here.
Many?
There have been few.
Let me look back. How many murders have there been?
This is max number. It's 6, isn't it, Seamus? Because I'm not looking at my notes at the minute.
I believe this is number 5.
Number 5. This is 5. There's been 4.
Yes. Because there was 3 girls, the guy, and then this is the 5th with the girl.
Yeah, and because spirits don't necessarily know the difference, and she's not doing it to be rude by any means. She knows a fucking big set tree is not gonna fucking be bothered by it. So she says, this many, and wraps her knuckles 4 times on the bark. Not hard, just enough to, however it counts, however it understands that's the best way for her to convey it without using a flat number.
Just because that nod just
Were there more than? Is that so? It's a nod of like, yes, that many.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
There will be more. There always will be more.
Is it always the same amount?
I do not know. I am not old enough. But I remember the stories.
Could you tell me the story?
No. We do not speak of the stories. I am not old enough to speak of it.
It's just the nod of like, okay. Because she's
Just
doing
no.
some math.
Just no.
No. Again, she's not going to get mad at the tree. She has an inkling of where she can go to find answers, but framing out as much as she can is good. Then thank you for so politely turning me back.
It is not a problem. We do not need to be aggressive. We merely watch. We will be here long after you are gone, so there is no need to slow the world down.
May I ask, were there other spirits here before it came? Living,
The deer,
perhaps?
the fox, the squirrel. Doesn't like squirrels.
No. At least it's not a pine tree. Then it would have been even pissier. Jesus.
The badger, but they all ran. Those that could still run.
When the stories say this happens, do they come back? Ever?
Yes, as the cycle always comes back.
There's just the nod of like, oh,
Those who
thanks.
can still come back.
If they shelter in the forest, do they need cleansing?
They do not shelter in the forest. They have gone away from it and beyond.
Tip of the head, and I mean, so we're at the edge of a forest. What is there in the other directions?
Open countryside.
Oh boy. You saw. Did any who were tainted make it away?
No. They went. That is their new path.
Fucking oof. Jesus. And because you gave it to me, she pops that in. Just, thank you, Arch.
Just give the nod of just
Oh, tree wobble.
yep.
And she'll run a quick translation for Seamus as essentially that we're not going to be able to make progress here. So as she kind of like beckons him, I've met a very, very old Glade child once before, and her roots spanned as far as the eye could see. If I can find her again, she might be able to show me this story, show me more about what's happened before. They seem to recognize it like this is some sort of natural disaster that comes and goes. But there aren't any deaths that we don't know about. It was the same number of times it's appeared from the forest as people that we've found.
All right then.
So I'll either need to find an oak or I will need to find her again. Oaks are the only ones old enough to remember the last time it happened, it seems like.
Hey, just nods like that. Look, this is theory stuff. I agree with what you say.
That
Seamus
sounds great.
Seamus is
job.
like, yeah. Seamus is just like, yes.
Yes.
It's so funny to sit back and realize you sound like a straight crazy person, but she's like, man, I gotta go find that Glade child and like just curl up in its roots and, violently hallucinate for a little while.
Seamus is just like, yes, you do that.
It's literally just nodding like, yep. All right. That's
Have fun with that.
that's great. If you need anybody pranking or want something murdered violently, finger gun.
And once this place is cleansed, it's a good chance that the other spirits that may have been here to see exactly what happened will return if they're capable of returning. And it could give us the closest thing to a first-hand account we're going to get, unless someone has a really, really hard to get tail in that we can use on that girl.
All right.
So, would you guys like to end the scene there? As the cleansing gets it going?
Oh boy.
Can do. Unless Babe wants to do anything Again, I just want to say though, she tells him this. It's like, yep. Yeah,
I feel like it's an awful lot like him showing up being like, so I went and I did a fuck ton of snooping and I found this, and she's like, okay. Yeah, that's
I feel like
okay.
this. You tried to get in, Seamus. The bramble bushes were like, nah, bro. They just kept pushing you back with thorns, and the tree just lifted you
I
up. and just
imagine
pushed
like
you down.
while
You know what I mean?
that conversation was happening, it's like the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 opening where
Mhm.
Maeve and Groot are talking, but then you just see Seamus being pushed back by the trees in the faded background.
She's like, let me in.
Like, let me in! Let me in!
All right.
Shaking at the bramble.
That is, oh my god. Yeah, I can't think of anything else offhand to ask except before we fade out, can I look up and see if there are any signs of either squirrel or bird nesting in the tree at Springs? So if they were going to, it would probably be there by now.
There is, but they look like they hightailed it. Grabbed
Oh,
everything
yeah.
they could.
Oh, they probably did, but if there's nesting there, it's a good sign that they
There was.
might try to come back.
There was, yeah, there is. There's like broken bits of nesting because they're like, oh Jesus!
Jesus fuck. Yeah. All right. Then yeah, I'll let it go there. Anyone else? Anything else?
Stewie, grab the nuts and let's get the fuck out of here.
All right. Then I will end it there. Thank you very much.